That's the team that plays to win for you and me.
Welcome back, Shimboners. On today's podcast, we are doing our crystal ball predictions, going through our ones that we had listed as well as the ones you'd sent in. We're going to predict right through 2025, ladder predictors, all the personal awards, and most importantly, how North will go in season 2025. To help me get through, of course, we have the Chief, but he's not getting any limelight because today we have the return of Fredo. The Frog's here to provide some professionalism to the podcast, hopefully today. We pumped up his analytic work, and I reckon he's run through plenty of sample ladders to find out what the final ladders will look like. So welcome back, Fredo.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Before we get there, obviously we had our best 23 pod, and thank you to everyone for checking that out on YouTube and your other listening platforms. Please remember, if you want to support us, just to give us a subscribe. What were your thoughts on the 23s?
I thought they were both pretty good. Mine was actually fairly similar, if you want me to go into that.
Yeah, what changes would you have?
I had Goda in mine as well. I think only one of you had Goda in.
Yeah, I didn't have Goda.
Yeah, and I had Eddie Ford in on mine as well.
You had Eddie Ford, so it was one each. Yeah. I was going to try and go 5 minutes without talking, but so it was just too much.
So if it went to match committee, they'd both get in because they got 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Will Phil?
No, I had him emergency.
Not enough room in the change rooms for the 26-inch pythons.
Yeah. The emergencies, Will Phil, Hanson and Cal Dawson.
And just quickly on the 26-inch pythons of Will Phil, our man, the Cactus, put up some great stuff. Just a bit of audio we heard on SEN, and that will be coming next episode, so stay tuned.
Jared and Kingy talking about it on SEN.
Yeah, boy.
And why isn't that ready for this episode for our listeners?
Because I've been flat stick during the week trying to organise you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is pretty much every week. But
well, what about the Frog? You talk about coming with the analytics. He's got a shopping bag. What's in the shopping bag?
It was just the laptop, actually.
Oh, okay. I thought it might be full of who knows what.
He's printed out the spreadsheets ready to go.
No, I didn't. They're just on the laptop.
All over the walls.
Right, so to get back on track for a minute, before we get to our crystal ball predictions, the biggest news during the week to bring the pod down on a somber note. I had to call the Chief after I saw this news because we all know that he doesn't shut up about the CCC, and one of his boys, Georgie Wardlaw, unfortunately confirmed with a high-grade hamstring, 10 to 12 weeks. Really big blow because he was looking at exploding in 2025.
Yes, very sad day when I found out that news.
And really unfortunate, but if there is a bright side to look at, we did bring in Luke Parker. He's ready-made to play that role, as well as Will Phil, who looks like he's really hit the gym hard. And I wouldn't be surprised, hopefully this is a joke and they're not listening, but if Asada paid him a trip, because he's jacked and he could be ready to grab his opportunity and play midfield minutes as well.
That's the one bonus of having 10 midfielders, is we can afford to cover one, but I just wish it wasn't George. I wish it wasn't anyone.
No.
But, George, my boy.
It is concerning, though, the history of hamstring injuries, and the club were, as we mentioned last pod, he was only training 2 out of 3 sessions because they were trying to manage him through, and I suppose the positive is there's no surgery needed, but he really will be missed.
Yes, when I found out no surgery, I was much happier, but still 10 to 12 weeks. The hamstring used to be 3 to 4. What's going on?
Severe one, I'd say.
Yeah,
obviously very severe, and his history.
Well, similar to the one, as you mentioned during the week in our chat, that Luke McDonald had a couple of years ago that was that same
the running
time
down
frame.
Cyril?
Yeah, I think it was the one after that.
Oh, after that, was it? Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, sending our thoughts out to George. He's still going to have a massive year when he comes back, looking at about the round 6 to 7 mark, hopefully. So come back when we're 5-2.
He did get through last year without any complaints with the actual hamstring. He had a couple of concussion missions, didn't he? Twice, 2 lots of 2, and maybe a rest early in the year. So he did get through. So hopefully for his, his mind, his psychology, you think I can do it again. They reckon he's a hard, diligent recovery. So all the best, but it's definitely shattering.
They'll get around him. He's got his best mate, the most professional man on earth, Harry Sheasel, to help get him through. But we had, for the first time in a while, we'd nearly gotten to February without a big-time injury at training. And then, grind my gears early, whoever the idiot was on X spreading the rumours about Big X doing his ACL, I was in panic mode. I was had more phone calls than Robbo trying to get a front page story, trying to find out if Big X was all right. But thankfully, it was just all a ruse by some idiot on social media.
Yes, that's why it's good not to be on the socials, because you don't have to put up with those wankers.
CCC club was going to have 2 lines for it.
Yeah.
The way that was going, unfortunately, we don't want that.
He would have been a no-show
Rip
today.
the shirt off.
Yeah, I wouldn't have fronted if 2 of them were down.
Right, let's get into our crystal ball predictions. So just a gentle reminder, last year was just you and I, Chief, and I got the chocolates, I beat you. So I've thought I need to bring in some competition. So I've got the
You beat me by 1.
yeah, well, you had the Brad Scott sort of choke.
Oh, I did.
36 points up, and I was Petrenko. I'll bring up some demons here, just with a little toe poke through to get the win.
Yeah.
That game still haunts me. But right, let's get into it with the biggest prediction of the year, obviously, is the Premier. I'll throw to our guest, Fredo. Who have you got winning the flag in 2025?
I'd love to say North, but I'm going to have to go da.
Oh, he's got
Carlton.
the Blues.
Yep. Carlton.
Boy.
Chief?
I'm going for Brisbane, Vegas to go back-to-back. I think with a lot of their players who are injured coming back, I think they've got another Ashcroft on the books for free. And I think they can cover Big Joe Danaher. I think they can cover the loss of him. He's really their only major out they've got from their premiership. And I think they'll go back-to-back. It's probably a soft pick, but that's all I think will win.
Yeah, well, we'll see at the end of the year. It's good listening here because we've all got something different. I'm going with the GWS Giants. I think they've been on the cusp of winning that maiden flag. I don't think the likes of Perryman and Cumming are major outs. I think they've got plenty of young talent there. Finn Callaghan, Tom Green, Bulls in the midfield, hitting that prime. The forward line is stacked. I think they are going to win the flag this year.
Yeah, I don't mind that. And obviously they could have won it last year. They were in front easily in 2 finals and then managed to choke.
And well coached as well, I should mention. So I think they've got them. Right, next up, the Brownlow medalist.
Me again?
Yep.
Nick Dacos.
I've gone the Bond. He's got to get one eventually.
Well, I've also gone the Bont. I think Treloar out early as well, which means he won't be playing this half-forward business. So he'll be in the guts having 35+. Hopefully not round 1. But, I think this is the year he finally gets recognition. I think a good comparison, he's much like Jazzy Garner in the women's. He just dominates and doesn't get votes.
Yep.
So this is his year. But no doubt, Frog will be right, and they'll try and jam Dacos down our throats.
No one's taking votes off Dacos in the Collingwood team, so I don't mind that shout either.
Coleman medalist. I'll go to you first, Chief.
Oh, I've got Big Soof, Big Nick Larkey. Here it comes. Here comes the bias. The North got glass overflowing, but I think we'll have more entries for him. He'll have more help up there, and I just hope he does it more than probably anyone else. But it's pretty even, the Coleman field, I think, so why not go for your hometown hero?
Frog?
Yeah, I've gone for Curnow. I think if he's fit, he's pretty much unstoppable, even though he's a bit smaller than some of the others. He's very good and great goal kicker as well. So.
Yeah, I've also gone for Nick Larkey as well. Don't need to really touch on that more than you did. I think he's been consistent, had a down year last year, but we saw the previous year kick 71 in an awful team, and I think we'll be taking the step up from awful this year, hopefully. So, although there's the opportunity for more spreader goal kickers, I've got him.
And can I just have a quick shot? I think Fredo's on the wrong pod. He should be on the Blue Baggers pod. He said Coleman to win the premiership and Curnow to win the Coleman.
At least he didn't have Cripps for the Brownlow.
Yeah,
He would have been booted off.
That would have been it for him.
I was almost going to pick Soof, and I was thinking hopefully we do have a bigger spread, but no, he can win it and have a big spread as well. We can kick maybe more than 8 goals a game. It'd be a good start.
Yeah,
That's it. Yes.
I don't know if there's room for Soof with my man Cam kicking 40. Get the socials blowing up again. Rising star medalist.
Me first. Well, I'm jumping on the Carlton bandwagon. I'm going for Jaeger Smith. And the reason why, I think he's a high possession winner in his under 18s. He did the same in Richmond when he played his couple of VFL games, got high possessions. And I think he'll go straight into the Carlton midfield, and they're a high profile club. He'll have a bit of the Harley Reid, not tax, but inflation, I suppose. And I think, the media will fall in love with him. He'll get his 30, whether they're impactful or not. And I think he'll win it.
I've gone for Sam Laylaw.
Yep.
Similar reason, I think if he starts stringing some games together, the media will need something nice for Richmond. seems they're in love with all their draft picks and all that, so I reckon he's a big show.
Yeah, I've also got Jagger Smith, but
If you copied mine.
What's this about the Carlton thing?
Yeah.
I've left my book open. Clearly, you're just reading over my shoulder.
But I'm going to change on the fly because I'm not having us having 3 in a row the same.
Okay.
This is boring listening otherwise. So I am going to take Finn O'Sullivan.
Yeah, okay.
Another good pick.
Yes. All right. Next up, we've got Surprise All-Australian. So we're going to be picking one from North and one from the greater AFL. We'll start with you, Chief.
Oh, I'm getting the new ball a lot now here. Obviously, you didn't rate Freddo's work with the new ball, so that's fair. I've gone PC. I think, and for those, if we're on YouTube, you see Bailey shaking his head and holding his hands almost in tears because clearly you've got him as well. But I got him first. I suppose you're the host and you're throwing to me. My new ball works well.
Right, AFL.
AFL, it was hard because I don't really like any of the other teams, but I've gone for one of my favourites, Kitty Coleman.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it's got to be obviously a roughie because it's a surprise All-Australian, so I'm not going in Dacos anytime soon in this category. So Kitty Coleman coming back from his injury, a lot of run off half-back, could be in a good team that's on prime time, which is another reason, going back to Jaeger Smith, that's why I picked him, because he'll be on prime time as well. Not hidden away on Fox like North will be.
Yes.
I've actually gone Paul Curtis as well. I think he's a bit underrated.
Yeah, not on this pod he's not. But
by even North supporters and definitely across the league. But he's kicked 30, I think, last year and in a terrible forward line. He could be easily. I'd have him down for over 40 if you can have that sort of year. He's really good one-on-one. He can still rove. Good kick for goal most of the time. And good, for goal assists as well. Which helps for AA, obviously.
Yeah, well, they don't usually consider it unless you're Brian Myers or Tom Hawkins.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, and for the rest, I didn't want to do this, but I'll pick Sam Darcy in the end.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good shout.
If he stay fit, I think, I know he flogged us, but he can do that to probably any team if he's on. He's a bit like Paul Salmon, for those who remember him.
I like it. Unfortunately, I've also got PC.
Not unfortunate. This is good.
Well, no, but I'd like to have something different.
No,
but I went back in PC, and for the AFL, I've taken Josh Tracy, the big typhoon from Fremantle. Yep. I think he had a mini breakout last year, and with a bit of a spoiler for later, I think they'll rise, so I think he can kick more bags than not, so I've got him to make the All-Australian side.
Nice.
Right, first coach sacked. I'm taking the new ball on this. I'm going Simon Goodwin.
Okay, I've gone everyone's favourite, Kenny Hinkley.
Oh, Ken. That'll be great radio.
Yeah, I reckon the Knights are out for him. If they lose 3 in a row, the Knights are coming for Ken. And as a backup plan, I've got Adam Uze. Now, I know Richmond have bottomed out, but historically, Richmond have no patience at all. The only thing is they have got the three-peat still in their minds of the mid to late 2000s and 10s.
And all the stack of kids, which you'll...
Yeah, and a stack of kids. So I think he's got that grace. But historically, Richmond, they'll line up with the chicken poo to dump outside their headquarters as they did back... When was that? Back in the 80s or 90s, Freddo? You remember?
So.
Yeah. And they'll melt their they'll microwave their memberships. They're not very patient, but the thing that'll save him is his recent, the club's recent three-peat.
I think if the doggies struggle, which they may do, they've underperformed for years, I reckon, so Luke Beveridge.
I think that's a great shout. He was probably my second.
Yeah, he was probably my third
choice. First win. So just tell me if you've got anything different. We'll fire through this one, but I've got our first win coming round 2 against the D's.
Correct.
Yeah, so I've got the same. Oh, sorry for it.
Same.
Yeah, I've got the same, but on the sneaking up, closing up, positive chief, round one. They've got a few injuries, the doggies.
No Jamara, no Trelaw.
Unfortunately, we got Wardlaw just after we found out about theirs, but yeah, no Jamara. And it's sneaking up, but the last time we played him, he's not good reading. So.
And we know, historically, that big Tim English, who's about 50-50, he's going to be too scared to play
He won't play. He won't play. Vex is playing.
How many wins for 2025?
Right, I did the full ladder predictor, and then my dog ate my homework. Okay, but I had us maximum, everything going well, was winning all the 50-50s, beating all the teams, like Richmond twice. I had us on 12 wins, but yeah, no, and we finished 9th, which we don't want to finish 9th. But I've pulled it back to 10 because we're not going to have everything go away, but I think 7 is the minimum, 12 the maximum, and I've landed on a bit of optimism, 10.
10, righto.
Double figures, first time in God knows how long. Since we won, first 9 in a row.
Yeah, probably
Back
is.
in, you'll know the year.
No, I think 2017 we finished 9th, so we would have won more than 10 games there.
Yeah, well, similar. Same, actually. I've put 10. I think for
Nice.
those that watch Ted Lasso, it's time to put that sign up, believe.
Yes.
They've just got to believe in themselves. The talent is there.
All right.
I'm sure of it.
Well, I'm going to bring it down. I've gone 8, which I thought was on the optimistic side, but clearly not compared to you two.
We're of the 90s when we just won for fun. It was like, if you want to compare it to anything like the AFLW North, back in the 90s, we just won from anywhere.
If we win 10, that's 10 and 13. It'd be like 15 years ago, it'd be shattered.
Yeah.
Because you're missing the 8, you're probably finishing 12th or something. Like this, now it seems like, this is out of reach, but it's not really. You've just got to win one of these harder games early. Then the belief can come, I reckon.
And not get flogged in round one.
Yeah.
Like, play well. Like even last year, we played pretty well against GWS, but they kicked a lot of points. So the 39-point margin was probably more a 60, 70-point margin. But there's a little belief. The game sold, you could see, but then it all fell apart. We're not talking about last year because 2025, the Roos will rise.
Yeah, the rise of the Roos. I like it a lot. Well, this doesn't segue well. Usually we do. But the Roo under the most pressure. I'll throw to you first.
Yeah, you won't like this, but I've got Cam Zerha.
Oh, boy.
I love the player, but I'm not going to be a social media, this. I just think with that big deal and he's standing as a unofficial leader, he needs to have a really good season. A good consistent season, but I think he can do, but I still think, who else do you pick on?
I think that's a great shout. Yeah. Like, he's 26.
It's in his prime, isn't
yeah. The inconsistencies have been well documented. There's hopefully, with what we're predicting, there's not going to be the excuses of the 80-point losses and the limited inside 50. So I can understand that, absolutely. Chief?
I've got 2.
But I brought 2 to the table.
Yeah, well, CCJ.
That's how he can win. He can pick.
Yeah, well, you can make me pick one, but I've got CCJ. I mean, that's probably low-hanging fruit. But, brought over as a bit of a saviour for the club as a second key forward / go in the ruck, and he's injured. When he's played, he's shown nothing, let's be honest.
I think saviour's a bit strong. He wasn't coming over as the second coming of Carey.
No, but
he played about 10 games for Richmond.
Well, where we were at that time, he was built up, and the position's been there. We still need to fill that position. We've had to bring Darling in at age 32 or wherever he is to come over and try and help. So I've got him, and I've also got Willfield, the 26-inch Pythons. I think he's under the pump. But I think now with George going down, the silver lining is he will get an early opportunity, and hopefully he takes it.
Yeah.
So who do you want me to say? Who's under the most pump? I think if you look at those two, and you've got a contract one at this stage, it's Willfield. So I'll say CCJ is under the most pump.
Yeah, but I think if you were to pick who's actually under the most pump, I mean, nobody expects CCJ to probably earn another contract because not back till May. So I think Willfield's probably under more pressure.
Well,
more expectation from supporters as well.
Well, and a higher draft pick. Although we went through what we gave up for CCJ in a previous pod.
Well, it wasn't pick 3.
No, but it wasn't peanuts
that's
either. He wasn't steak knives. He was the main target that we targeted in that off season. Anyway, I'll underline Willfield, so he'll be my pick, and he's my
Lose
man.
a piece of paper though.
Yeah, the dog will lead it.
No, it's
recorded now.
This is a golden diary. This isn't loose leaf paper. This is a proper binder. This is the Bible of the pod.
I'm not listening to this crap. Right, moving on. I've got Luke McDonald as the Roo under the most pressure. I mean, for anyone who listened to our first pod of 2025, I outlined the reasons there why, but obviously competition for spots. He's handed off the captaincy, the co-captaincy. The pressure will purely be on his football now, and hoping he can do it, but I think a couple of average games and he'll be feeling the heat.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's because that position has got probably the most competition for it, with a lot of younger potential players that haven't had the opportunity or chance to prove, have they?
Yeah, Hardiman, Goda, all banging down. Miller Bergman, another one.
Right, your man Foss playing off half back.
And potentially one of the mids running off there.
Yep.
Powell and Colby training there at certain times. Breakout season. Who have you got?
Oh, me, I had George, so now it's Tommy Torp.
Tommy Torp, I like it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I've gone big game zone. I said that in the preview under the set to explode. So I'll back him in.
I'm going to go with a pretty common answer with a lot of North fans. I'm going to take Josh Goda. I think he's ahead of schedule with his Achilles rehab. I think the height and the penetration with the kick as well as run and carry off half back, he'll have a great year.
Yeah, he's looked good from game one. He's only played a handful, hasn't he? But I remember the first game he played, he did a
inboard kick
nice
to Goldie.
and had the balls to take that kick on. So
right, here's one of my favourite ones we like to do. The headline you will see. Right, I'll kick us off, and I have got Clarkson still has plenty of magic left. Right, I'll go to my left, Chief.
Okay, I've got North Kids lead Roos to surprise win.
What's a surprise win?
Well, when we're not favourites, and it's probably someone in and around the 8. Like I expect us to beat your St Kildas, your Essendons, the Filth, even your Melbournes, your West Coast and your Richmonds. So someone outside of that, like a Port Adelaide, I think would be a surprise. And wouldn't that be beautiful?
Well, get that out of your head because we're playing them in Adelaide and we can't beat anyone in Adelaide.
Well, that'd be a surprise. There you go. You've answered your own follow-up question. If we win any game in Adelaide, any game interstate, any game at even Gather Round, we haven't won at Gather Round, so maybe Gold Coast up at the Barossa, you'll be there cheering us on.
And we play 3 in Adelaide in a 6-week period.
Yep.
2 away trips plus Gather Round.
Yeah, we do. Righto, what have you got?
Sick of it by then, weren't they? The D's in turmoil.
Yeah, that is...
Can't wait. Even better if I could say Cats in turmoil, but that just never happens.
No, I've been waiting 20 plus years for that. Headline you won't see, and I've got the headline that you won't see, I'll just clarify, is Roos set for yet another bottom 2 finish.
Oh, yeah, well, that'd just about do us.
The pot will be in
that would be terrible, because we're always optimistic. We try and be positive all year, and we're very positive this time of year. I've got Chad Warner commits to Sydney. I don't think we'll be seeing that. I think he's bought a house in Perth, and he's gone bye-byes.
Yeah, I like it.
I've gone media. I've gone Wilson admits she's wrong.
We'll tick that off
yeah,
already.
you can have a point already for that.
Next up, we've got which Whitlock plays first. I have picked Jack from Port Adelaide. I think he'll play first.
Yeah, so do I, and the reason being they've lost Marshall to injury. Obviously, Dixon's retired, so they haven't got many tall forwards, and I think that will give him an opportunity earlier than our Jack, and we've got a lot of key defenders. Our Matt, and our twin, the better twin.
I've gone Matt. Just why not?
Yeah, something different. We like it. We're not here to all answer the
Unfortunately,
same.
I don't want to curse, but our defenders don't have a good history of playing 20 odd games. Some of them, do they?
No, they don't. That's a good
I
call.
think Matt could play this year, but I think Jack will play first because of what I said.
Yeah, I think he'll play.
Opportunity for him will arise earlier.
I think he'll play in the first 6 weeks.
There you go. Like it.
Next up, we're gonna predict our Sid Barker top 3 in order. So I've got Harry Sheasel winning.
Yes.
Runner-up, Charlie Comben, and in third place, Luke Davies-Uniacke after signing a 7-year deal.
Yes, nice.
Like it.
Hope that happens.
Fredo, you can go next.
I've gone Harry Sheasel, LDU second, and Tommy Powell third.
Oh, Tommy Torp. Yeah. I like it.
Well, poor old George has cost me, so I've got just the 3 CCC left. So let's put them in.
What order are you going?
No, I'm not really.
Good Chom Jacko.
Yeah, no, I don't think Jacko will get enough votes, unfortunately, or as much as I love him. I've gone Sheasel. How could you not? I've gone Big X. He's like, I was thinking he had a great breakout year. Can he maintain it? And then I thought, well, what are his characteristics? He battles his heart out, his follow-up work, his tackling, his pressure. Well, that won't fall off because that's all effort-based. So as long as he plays enough games and doesn't get, let's touch wood that he doesn't get injured. If he plays enough his game is based on effort. So effort's the one thing you can control, and he'll bring it. And then I've got LDU. I mean, he's unlucky to come in third, but I like your call of Chong. I had him, the next little bracket I've got McKercher and Chong. So I think they can have big years.
Good call. I like it. Next up, we're going to be predicting the ladder prediction for every side in 2025. We'll start off with the Adelaide Crows. Where have you got them finishing from?
12th.
12th?
Yeah, good call. Where have you got them? You'd have them first.
No, I'm not falling in for the trap of last year. I've got them finishing 10th.
Okay, well, I've got them 12th.
Yep, I like it. Brisbane?
Brisbane 2nd.
Yeah, I've got them in first.
Yeah, same. I've got them first.
Carlton?
Premiers.
I've got them finishing second.
I've got them 6th.
6th?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Collingwood?
8th.
I've also got them in 8th.
9th.
Essendon?
15th.
I've got them in 14th.
I've got them in 15th.
Fremantle?
6th.
I've got them in 4th.
5th.
Oh.
The Geelong Cats?
10th.
I've got them finishing 6th.
I've got them 3rd. And I wanted to have them 10th, but they've got young Smith. And
I want them 18th.
Yeah, so
Or Essendon. Yeah.
yeah, no, I didn't back them last year, and they bit me.
Yeah.
A bit like Sydney. We haven't got to them yet.
You always feel they'll be about 12. Here's an interesting one. The Gold Coast Suns.
11th.
I've got them in 12th.
I've got them 14th. You know, I was hot on them last year, and they're going to explode one year, but hopefully it's not next year because I've got them 14th.
Yeah, well, they get the gifted schedule every year, so it's going to happen sooner rather than later, but not this year.
And the gifted academy.
Oh, don't start me on that. This is not the pod for that. GWS.
3rd.
I've also got them in 3rd.
2nd.
Oh. Who have we got next? Hawthorn.
5th.
I've got them in 7th.
I've got them in 4th, but I've got a real question mark. The media are all over them, as we know. But is it just this hot ball, the way they play with all their small forwards? Is it just a one-off? Like they've caught the competition out, and the competition is actually going to wake up to it. Although I do rate Mitchell as being as a good coach, so
Yeah.
I've landed them in 4th. But I can't see. I still don't think they're much better than us, or even if they are. So over to you, Clarko.
Well, I've got them in 7th, but I think they could easily miss the 8.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I agree.
They're a hard one to predict. Melbourne.
17th.
I've got them in 15th as well, bottom 4.
Oh, gee, I'm a bit optimistic. I've got them in 13th.
Well, it's not that optimistic. Right, here we go. This is the one the supporters want to hear. Where will North finish?
13th.
I've also got 13th.
11th.
That's the way.
Who we got next? Port Adelaide.
4th.
I have them finishing 9th.
I've got them 10th.
Oh, I like it.
They can go home early to mummy. Don't worry about September. Don't worry about any flights, Ken. You'll be sacked by then anyway.
St Kilda.
16th.
I've also got them 16th.
Yeah, same. 16th.
Oh,
That's
boy.
a trifecta.
Sydney.
9th.
I've got them finishing 5th.
I've got them 8th. And only because
no.
they burn me every
Not
year,
again.
so I'll put them in the 8th.
And they had the grand final last year.
Yeah, but the whole Jad Warner going home, I still don't rate their list. That whole
Did we skip Richmond on purpose because we know they're going to be 18th?
I didn't realise I skipped them, but I think,
went
we
yes?
can all agree they're finishing last.
Yep.
Yes, so I pick
Sucked in.
one and pick whatever. What are we giving him on mine? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and pick 7.
Yeah, which will end up being about pick 20 with the Bodie Hewland's brother and all the academy players coming through.
Not that high, but it'll be in double figures.
Yeah. West Coast, I have them 17th. Sorry, I've cut ahead of you.
That's all right. 14th.
17th.
And to finish it off, we've got the Western Bulldogs.
7th.
I've got them in 11th.
I've got them 7th, but these injury worries have they could easily miss.
Right, so that is our ladder predictor. Now we'll move on to some listener questions. We'll start with Ash on Facebook, who's asked us to predict who from North will make the All-Australian side in 2025. Now, this is the 22, so not just the squad. I'll go first. I've actually been optimistic here. I've got us with 3 All-Australians. I've got Tristan Sherry being the All-Australian ruckman, Nick Larkey being the All-Australian full forward or forward pocket, and Harry Sheasel. He has to be All-Australian. Should have been last year, and knowing him, he'll only improve.
Well, I've got Harry Sheasel and LDU.
I
Feel the media will find another ruck love child. Second ruck. Max will be in. If he plays 20 games, he'll get in. So not disrespecting Sherry, but he'll have to somehow find another level to even get close, I reckon.
They'll fit.
Hope he does though.
Big Lloyd Meek in there with the hot ball.
Yeah, you guys have obviously not watched the All-Australian for the last however years because I've got no one. Because they don't...
Hang on.
To get in from North.
You've predicted Larky to win the Coleman.
Yeah, they'll find a way. There'll be some little grime eyes who had 35 assists or, was a really good trainer or something. No, in all seriousness, I think X can make it. So I've just got him in at this stage. So the reason I haven't got Harry in is because... Yeah, well, I think he'll play more half forward, and that'll be a reason for him not to get in because his stats will dip a bit, and that'll be the excuse they use. Because obviously at half forward you won't get as many possessions. You won't be up around the 30, and there'll be some. Let's pick a player, Adam Trelaw, someone who runs around getting 35 every week, getting the cheap ball.
Yeah, they don't need many excuses to exclude a North player. But
so unless he can kick 40 goals,
I'm hoping Harry can kick 30 and have a stack of goal assists. He might only average 20 to 25 this year, not 29 or whatever he did last year, didn't he?
He's certainly got the talent to get in there, but I'm just scarred by so many good North players missing out. Hello, Robbie Tarrant.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hello, Ben Cunnington.
Yeah, yes, big hello to Ben.
Schwass
going
back.
Yeah, had to go to Sydney to get in.
Didn't stat pad as much as other players, but very, very impactful.
Well, let's just go to the 90s because we'll bring it up. We'll talk about 90s we won premierships. So we were low possession, kick it long to Carey, and that's what cost Schwartz because other teams were chipping it round and getting high. Their midfield was getting high possessions, whereas ours were getting low 20s.
Yeah, if you got it anywhere past the centre half back, if you didn't kick it long, you'd probably sit on the bench for about an hour and a half.
You'll have a little talk to Dennis. Anyway, we'll go back to the 2025, the rise of the Roos.
Our next one is how many games will these two players play? So I'll do them individually. We'll just go around. Has anyone got Taylor Goad playing this year?
I've got no, and that's big touch wood, that X doesn't get injured. I think if X gets injured, he's a chance to come in.
Yeah, well, this is going off that X hasn't done a serious injury.
Yeah, well, if he doesn't get injured, I've got him, no.
Yeah, same.
No for the unicorn, but 26. Look out, I reckon. Hopefully.
Yeah, I agree.
Be optimistic.
Then the next one Craig asked us to predict is Big Finbar, and I've got him playing 2 games.
Well, I've got him playing 3. So.
Well, I've got him playing 2.
Well, we've all got the Finbar arriving and playing some senior
I think he was
footy.
unlucky not to get a game late last year, and clearly they should have. If you look at the last 2 games, because he couldn't have done any worse.
Just like the way they're trialling a bit of defence as well. We can get up and clunk and hopefully feed the ball off. I think his field kicking's okay, but obviously his shots a goal. Not the best.
Raise the eyebrows.
Not the best. That's very positive
right.
way to...
He can work between the arcs as well, couldn't he? Definitely clunk though.
Yes.
That's a good skill to have, even if it only happens 3 or 4 times a game.
Yeah. Next up, we've been asked to predict how many goals will Nick Larkey kick. So I want an exact number.
Yep.
I've gone 75.
Oh, I've gone 69.
I've gone 58.
Oh, a bit of discrepancy there. I like it. And the next player is Cam Zerha. I've predicted he'll kick 43 goals.
I've gone 34.
38.
I like it. Here's one from Vito, also on Facebook. What round does Clarko get fined?
I've gone won't happen.
I like it.
I was going to go that, but then I thought you look at Clarko's history. You look at his history, and that's not... I've gone round 9. I think, things will go against us that are out of his control, and I'm sure the listeners know exactly what I'm talking about there, but it's too early to get upset about that sort of thing. And I think, round 9.
I've gone round 1 because he'll sneeze in the wrong direction and they'll be looking to get him.
Big Toddy will have to come down and bag him, carry him off, I reckon, or Monkey.
Yeah. We'll move over to Insta where Zach has asked, who kicks more goals, Cam or PC?
Well, I've gone PC.
PC for me.
And I knew you two both would, so I've taken Cam. Rich has asked Dersma, will he rise or fall? I've gone rise.
Well, I had to. He's my breakout man. So, yes, definitely rise.
Definitely rise, I think, yeah.
I've gone rise, but I don't think it'll be astronomical. I don't think we can expect the position he plays that he's going to have the sort of Sheasel McKercher season.
No, a different type of player until he eventually
He'll have
probably
one.
give some midfield minutes eventually, like in the seasons to come.
Yeah.
When there, he did play a bit of mid and juniors, I think.
He'll have more good moments than last year and get himself in the best 23.
Ben asks, Sheasel versus Dersma, who kicks more goals?
I've gone Sheasel.
I've gone Sheasel.
I've gone Sheasel for the reasons I alluded to not long ago, that I think he'll play more forward minutes. He'll still have midfield minutes, don't get me wrong, but he'll have more forward minutes.
Yeah, Matt on Instagram, he's right in tune with what this pod wants to answer. Does the sausage debut? Braden George being that for those
Yes,
playing at home.
our pod favourite for a bloke who's never played. We've been on him since day one, since he was drafted. And I've got, unfortunately, no.
No.
I've gone yes. Round 23.
I hope
I've
he
put the
does.
round there. I think he'll be in some scintillating VFL form and he'll come in and play the last 2 games of the year to set up a big 26.
Yeah, well, last 2, so then into finals.
Well, Tori asks, how many goals will Silv have after the first 5 games? So I've gone with 18.
I've gone 14.
I'll meet you in the middle, 16.
Pete, most Brownlow votes from a North Melbourne player with the number as well. So I've gone Luke Davies-Uniacke with 23 votes.
I've gone LDU with 24.
Oh, a bit conservative. LDU with 18 because you'll have too many taken off him with a... But he had 18 last year.
Yeah,
didn't
we
he?
won 3 games in
Yeah,
his
but
poll.
he'll have more help.
Hopefully, that's what I was thinking with the goals. Hopefully, it's not all on Larky and Suva. I'd love Larky to kick 80 goals or something, but hopefully there's more chipping in, a bit like the Sydney attack,
Yeah.
except for the last game.
Yeah, LDs asks, how many intercept marks will Griff and Logue average? I like this. Bit of love for the defenders. I've gone with 3.2.
I just went 3 flat.
I'll go 2.5.
Are you drawing over there? Well, you're a bit slow to react. What are you doing?
Looking through the
I'm trying to read my own writing.
writing, Robbo.
Mark's got a ripper question here. Number of times Silv will adjust his hair.
For the season or per game?
Wow. Either or.
For season, I had 165.
I put infinity. I think
I'd say,
infinity. Yeah, it
I'd
just
say
won't
about
stop.
8 a game.
Yeah.
Probably has 4 to 6 shots. Every behind a point it does that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sometimes after a free kick or something.
He's got to look up at the replay too.
Might need a bit of Kangalotto like in his first year. And you won't be able to.
I've gone after every point. So I've gone 33. I think he'll kick 69-33.
Oh, that's very specific.
I know. Well, I think it's got to be caught on camera. We're not counting training or anything.
No, we're not.
So.
Jake,
I think it has to be caught on camera.
yes. I'm not counting it during the year. So
No.
Jake has asked, how many games will each draftee play? So we'll roll through them. Finn O'Sullivan,
18.
19.
17.
So we've all got him playing a lot of footy. Whitlock,
I got 0 because I didn't think either of them played this year.
I've got him playing 2 games.
Yeah, I've got 0 because I don't think he'll play.
The big one in this pre-season, Luke Urquhart, a lot of noise coming out
The
of
fan
him.
favourite from training alone, I've got him for a sneaky 3.
So do I.
I've got him for 2.
And the son of a gun to finish us off, River Stevens.
I got him for 0.
I've got him playing 2 games.
0.
Won't be for lack of effort.
No, it won't be for lack of effort.
Won the shuttle the other day. I think he's just a sneaky. That small forward position, nobody has nailed it down. And if Constanti and Robbie Hanson Jr. and the likes can't make that spot their own, I think he'll get a chance later in the year.
Yeah.
Because he's got that work ethic that Clarko loves. And he'll
Yeah,
be...
well, he got it from his father.
Yeah.
His father used to train after training, run extra laps, and before it was unheard of. And most of them, like, let's say his best mate, he was probably having a dart behind the sheds, I reckon, back in the early 90s. But now I'm talking about the great man, Glenn Archer, and probably a pie that he stole.
Yeah.
But yeah, great man. But yeah, Sivo, real workhorse.
Further north has written in, who is next to don the helmet? Well, I've gone Big Finbar. I could see him rolling with the helmet, but it's a bit of a tricky question to answer.
Yeah,
And you go.
I've got no one. I think that 2, max out at 2.
I've gone CCJ, just maybe you could draw some inspiration from the other
Yeah, I
fella that
like
wears
it.
the helmet.
I like
And
it.
he has had concussions before.
We've got a couple left on X. Nipper asks, who's our first big scalp going to be against?
I've gone Go D's, but hopefully it's the week before.
Yeah, I've gone Western Bulldogs because I don't think we've predicted Melbourne. They're a big scalp. I think they're a team we should be right in it and winning.
Yeah.
So I think big scalp. Western Bulldogs round 1.
I have gone Good Friday. We're beating Carlton. That's going to be our first big scalp.
We would have beaten them last year, the second time, if those blokes with the whistle had actually blown it when PC had someone stone cold holding the ball.
And do you know why we're going to beat them this year? Because hopefully we'll actually have someone height appropriate playing, because we had Aidan Bonner playing 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then last year we had Cow Dawson getting found out. So I think we'll get our best 3 defenders down there, Logue, Core and Logue, Core, Chom, and then Arch will be flogging them as well. And I think we'll beat them.
Yeah, I like it. And just a question without notice, nothing to do with predictions. What do you think about the VFL signing, Tomlinson, we've had?
Oh, big
good.
fan.
Yep.
Yep, good. We all agree there. Yeah, big
well,
fan.
if CJ is out for the year or someone else, bring a ready-made tall straight in on the injury replacement list or whatever it is.
And he's a versatile, so he can play forward, back, he can play on the wing. He's got a great tank. I think he's just an all-round experienced head to be able to bring in mid-season.
And you need them in the VFL as well, because nothing worse than your VFL getting slaughtered and pushed around.
Yeah, help
Especially
young.
they've lost the other big fella that was concussed, old Hamish Free, haven't they?
Yeah.
Help Whitlock out, and he can come in, as you said, if we get injuries and he gets bumped up, he can come in instead of a skinny 18-year-old. He can come in as a senior ready-made player.
Oh, exactly. And I think our VFL team needs to be top 6 next year.
Yeah, so I'm playing finals. One of the men's team have to play finals. I've got a real taste for it. After the women did so well.
You want another Stomping Grounds lager coming out, don't you? You want the 2025 edition.
So, but the VFL will have to be competitive, which they were this year. And finals, top 6. Give the finals a good crack, go deep.
And our last question from the listeners for the predictions is from Sean, who says, who plays more games this year? Big Game Zane or Robbie Hanson Jr., and that being Zane Dersmer, of course.
Yes, I've gone, well, obviously, again, backing my man in. He better play well this year. My whole winning the title depends on Big Game Zane, and I'm backing him in.
I think you'll be right. I've got Big Game Zane playing more.
Yeah, same big game.
Right, let's move on. Footy media starting to come back.
Yes.
If anyone is looking for a good laugh, Fireball Friday with Kane and David King on SEN of a Friday morning is brilliant. It's the only time Kane's likeable, because Kingy brings it out of him. But you and I are both avid listeners of the Tradies podcast.
Yes.
And something came across that we listened to this week that really raised some eyebrows. So I'll pass it on to you, because you love the Media Street segment and you love hearing your own voice. So I'll give it to you.
This is Media Street, our segment. And we examined the media, and you put me onto it. They did a bit of an emergency podcast because Geelong are into Matt Rao. And they were talking about who else he could be interested in Matt Rao. And I think it was Sam said North.
No, they're going through the Victorian teams.
They're going through it because he's a Victorian boy, country Victoria. But North came up from Sam, and Mitch said, well, no, North don't need him. And Sam's, well, why not? And they've got enough midfielders. And Sam almost fell off his chair, said, oh, have they? And then as a defence, he loves knocking North. Oh, none of them are any good. And I was thinking to myself, we don't need Matt Rao. I mean, if you land on our doorstep, we'd say come in, but we don't need to go chasing someone like him. We've already discussed we've got hundreds of midfielders. And then Sam's trying, oh, well, he's a bull. He's 190. And I almost fell off my chair then. I thought, little grass eater. You don't get to be 190 eating grass. And I thought, no, he's about 180. And then Mitch comes in, oh, no, I think he's 185. And I thought, no, I reckon he's 180. And so then they looked him up, Mitch, and he's 180.
You don't take on the boffin.
No, but they're professionals. That's what really annoys me. And Sam can't wait to have a dig at North. And if he doesn't think North have got a good midfield, well, maybe he wants to tune on Fox. He obviously just watches Channel 7 and doesn't see North. Maybe he just sees the VFL team running around.
He doesn't listen to this pod because we say every week we're going to win the midfield battle.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And we'd have invited him on a couple of times to give him the challenge. So
what pissed me off is they were going through that Mitch was throwing a few mids. Have you heard of this bloke? I don't know. He's not really synonymous with North. No one's really heard of him. Harry Sheasel.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even mention him.
He wouldn't know. They didn't mention him. I don't think they mentioned Jai Simpkin either.
They didn't mention Colby McKercher, Luke Parker. Yeah. There was a ton they didn't
And that's
mention.
when Sam goes, oh, none of them are any good. I thought, okay. You
That-
talk about LDU all year in the St Kilda war chest. Maybe he's pretty good if the team's going to pay him $2 million a year for 10 years.
Exactly, and if LDU was playing for his beloved Blues, he'd be a 4-time Brownlow medalist by now.
Anyway, Sam, when was that? Late January did that drop? He didn't get a January without upsetting us on this pod, but he's welcome at any time. He wants a sensible debate about some of his theories.
Yeah,
One of my favourites is Bass Strait lapping at Boot Park down in Hobart. The first thing I'll do is buy him a map of Tassie. He obviously hasn't seen a map of Tassie.
geographically challenged, that is for sure. But I suppose let's touch on LDU. Obviously, we saw Cow, the Toomey, the best in the business, Cow, reporting that North have got a 6, 7, 8 year deal on the table for him. With his breaking news was the biggest contract ever, but we haven't been with the salary increases we've seen. We haven't had any good players to pay in the last 6 years that have been on commanding money. So of course he's going to be the highest paid player at North of all time.
Yeah, and he'll be the best.
The best player of all time.
No, the best of this current era. I mean, obviously he's on way more than Carey, and Carey was paid well, but that was back in the 90s into the early 2000s.
Yeah, had to get jobs after
The whole salary cap.
season.
Yeah, the whole salary cap was probably $6 million then.
Well, not for Carlton.
Oh, well, if you had a brown paper bag and some good cardboard box sponsors, you could get away with anything. Bit like Geelong down at Cotton On.
I was about to say, what role will Matt Rowe's father be getting down there? CEO or...
He'll be getting a good role, be a paid speaker and not have to talk.
Oh, it's an absolute joke, but... yes, have you got anything else for us before we wrap up?
No, well, you've got the rundown. That's it, I think. We're out of it.
But actually, I've got to grind my gears before we go, right? So, we all know that I said a couple of weeks ago that Big Chief's taken a month off in the middle of the year for the pod. Look, I've let that slide just. A bit of shade his way for doing it in footy season, but I can accept it. And what slid across my desk last week, he's taking another
one.
Another international trip in footy season. So the frog will be carrying this pod for a long time because you're just jetting off thinking you're a big deal. So my question is, have you been making money out of this pod? Because I sure as hell haven't.
Hey, I'm the only one pushing for sponsorships. And the only one we got was by you and your contacts. So Boot Park, fail. Bogues, fail. Who else are we going after?
Yeah, I think that's it.
We've got one
Wilson Homes. Well, they didn't even sponsor the...
You've got one shot at Ninja Stadium.
Yeah,
Two
Ninja needs to
games.
jump on board.
Yeah, Ninja. We need new blenders and kitchenware.
And as proud Tasmanians, the Hobart Hurricanes, of course, we better give them a shout out for winning the championship.
Yes, very good. Well done, Hobart. Hurricanes, the cane train.
But yeah, that's just about us done. Anything from you, Frog?
Oh, just when you're talking about LDU, I feel like he's a bit unrespected from the fans saying, oh, he doesn't work hard enough defensively. You look at all our gun midfielders this century, which one of them does? Like Cunnington, no, couldn't. Like he tried, but I think LDU works harder defensively than what he gets credit for.
Yeah, and
that's not his number one go. He's meant to be the offensive, but he does work hard. Even last year, but at the ground, obviously George probably can't do it physically yet. But even the great Harry, you see jogging through the mid, Powell was shocking for it. You know, like you said, Boomer, Del Sando, Higgins. Swallow was probably one that did.
Yeah,
It worked both ways. The only ones that did were your defensive mids like Sam Gibson, Jed Anderson.
But
Probably
that's
some other ones. That's just part of the thing.
They're your offensive.
You don't want him. I think what happens if they get the ball? I'll go defence. You want him, dancing around people and drilling it forward. Obviously his kicking's not the best. It's better than average though, but he's getting around players is probably the best, up with the best in the league with just the sidestep.
Yeah.
So thoroughly deserved for mine.
they're your burst players. Like you didn't see Daniel Wells,
Wells
going
another
hard
one.
back
Early
because
days he went hard backwards, but Scotty, whoever gave him lately gave him the just go with it.
I would much rather see LDU bursting through the pack than second guessing himself and not being the offensive weapon that we've seen him be.
Well, I think his defensive stats were up this year.
They were.
You could see at the ground, as you said,
His
Fredo,
defensive
that he
half press
improved.
racks were huge, I think. And the good teams have coverage for that. That's up to the midfield. If he's hunting, someone else has got to slide back or slide up or whatever. Like that's what the good teams do.
Yeah, you're not saying Lockie Neal, Nick Dacos, even the Bont. working that hard defensively, because it's just the role in the modern day football.
Yeah.
You got your ace up your sleeve at the midfield stoppage, and that's obviously going to be LDU and Harry at times as well this year. So
Thing is it's not a Dacos thing, but the thing is with him, like he wins the ball, he does win hard balls, but when he wins it, he runs as hard as he can to get to the next one. That's where he kills his opponent. But he's running past it 70 out and receiving again and kicking it again. It's just work rate.
Oh, he's, if not number one, he's top three in terms of work rate in the AFL. And that's what we're seeing with Harry as well. Their careers aligning so much.
Statistically, they're even, if not slightly in Harry's. But he hasn't got two blazers.
No, he doesn't. But he also hasn't played in a premiership team.
No, he does play the North tax and the bottom two tax.
Exactly. Right, we might wrap up there. A big thank you to everyone for sending in your questions for our Crystal Ball podcast. Let us know your predictions, who's winning the flag, how many games we're going to win, all that. Leave them in the comments. And if you want to support the pod as well, please subscribe, and there will be some more merch coming. We've got some stubby holders finally coming. We've had a lot of requests for some Shin Bonus podcast stubby holders. They will be coming soon, so message the page if you're interested there. But thank you very much for all your support again, listeners. We absolutely appreciate it. And we'll be back next week again to welcome back to the pod the Premiership captain for a conversation, which will be a great time, and looking forward to hearing from Emma. And she'll be able to let us know, for those who aren't fully across, she's also involved in the men's program. So who's training the house down and catching her eye as the in charge of the development of the young forwards.
Yes, and if you think it's normally a positive pod, wait till we have a premiership captain on here and see how up and about we are.
This is the first time I've come in after a win. The girls' premiership.
It is. Well, hopefully...
The last one was the Bulldogs game.
Hopefully with Big Head over here just jetting off thinking he's too good and having some lots of
win
mid-year
4 in a row
holidays.
and he's not here, well, he won't be coming back.
I agree.
Well, that's fair. I'd give up for wins. Yeah. I'll get anything for wins, sell my soul for wins.
I like it.
But, that's the senior member of the squad. I've got to try and open up the areas for the young up-and-comers to come through.
Right, that's enough waffle I've had to hear from you. And there's been a little bit, when the little brother comes on the pod, the chest does come out and try and sort of stamp your territory.
Yeah, well, this is my house, my rules.
All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks again for supporting the pod. Until next time.
Kanga Kangas.
Kanga.
Garoos!
Good old North Melbourne, the champions you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win for you and me.